Welcome back to another video, and this is my collective makeup review for the month of March. Welcome back, and we are doing my collective makeup review video for the month of March. So in this video I'm gonna be reviewing some of the makeup products that I've been trying out lately. In terms of eyeshadow palettes, you did get a collective eyeshadow palette review video. I think it was already during the last month. Yeah, I think it was during February, so that should be live on my channel, and I think with the next one I think I'm gonna be able to do that one pretty soon, but let's see, is it gonna come out in March or at the beginning of April. How I do my makeup review videos is that I put these into 4 categories. I have a category absolutely don't buy, so products that I would not recommend buying. Then I have a meh category, which means that the products are okay, and maybe to some people they might actually work out quite well, but for me they were kind of meh. Then I have the good category, which are good products that I would recommend, and then there is the absolute faves, which are products that you're most likely gonna see at the end of the year, like makeup favorites. But without further talking, let's start going through the makeup products that I reviewed for this particular month. We have one product in the don't buy category, and this is a new foundation. So this is from Lumene, and this is the Blur Even Cover Longwear Foundation. I'm gonna put part of this blame, I'm gonna take partly blame on myself for this one. I'm a person who has a combo dry skin. Once I got into my 30s, my skin has changed. When I was in my teens and all the way to mid-20s on to my end 20s, I had a combo oily skin, but during the last 2 years I have been forced to change my foundation preferences, which sometimes still get us into the situation that I'm kind of thinking that, oh, there's a cool new Maybelline foundation and maybe I could get away with that one. No, we can safely say, as I've been now trying this one, we can't get away with these matte foundations. This is more of a, more when you spread this out, this does come out quite liquidy, which kind of gave me hope that maybe we could make this one work, but no. Today I think I'm having an okay skin day, so I have worn this now a few hours. I put my makeup on around 8 o'clock, or actually before 8, it was already before 8, so before 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's now late afternoon, so this has been on my skin now quite a decent amount of time, and yeah, this definitely will hold your oils, especially if you have a more dry leaning skin, but definitely not my favorite, especially I think around my nose area and around my chin area. Something when once this gets onto your face, it really starts separating easily on those areas, and I think that's the reason because I am just having a drier skin these days. I do think if you have an oily skin, you could maybe try this one out. This is definitely something that will give you quite a full coverage, and you are definitely going to get a matte finish with this one, but on a combo dry, and especially if you have super dry skin, I would stay away from this one. It just isn't going to work out. So, but as I said, this is something that I should have guessed, and I should now just learn my lesson that don't buy anything that says that it's a Longwear matte foundation, because then it's just not gonna work out. But if you're someone who has a especially a very oily skin, and you want something a bit more liquid in terms of matte foundations, then you could probably try this one out. Then let's start talking about the meh products. So first one, let's actually continue with base products. So this one I was kind of debating how I'm gonna place this one. So this is the Maybelline Lifter, what was this? Corrector Serum Hot Courage Concealer. Why is it has a long name? So I think my biggest issue is that they are advertising this as serum concealer, but I can open this one and show. This isn't very serumy in terms of consistency. This is pretty thick concealer, and this reminds me a lot of the OG thick heavy coverage concealers that we got especially during the 2016s and 17s when Tarte Shape Tape was the milestone of concealers. So for me the name is a bit misleading. This is a pretty what I would say thick medium to full coverage concealer. If that is the kind of concealer that you're going for, and this again is a concealer that I'm wearing in combination with a corrector that I'm gonna feature later in this particular review video. But if you are looking for a medium to full coverage drugstore concealer, then maybe give this one a try. I do have to say again, in terms of shade ranges, this is in the shade 05, so I think this is the fairest shade in this particular line. This is pretty yellow leaning, so in terms of also how this works with my particular skin undertone, not maybe my favorite. This seems to be a pretty constant issue with some of the especially fair and light shade ranges, that a lot of them yellow, either very very like yellow, or then you of course have some that are very like orangey leaning, which is another like issue. But in those, I think if the consistency would have been a bit better, then I could maybe work with the undertone. But because of the undertone, because of the fact that I don't think this is the kind of concealer that they're kind of advertising this to be, I'm not a fan of this one. This is not going to be something I'm going to rebuy, but I do think that if you're just generally looking for a medium to full coverage concealer at a drugstore, then maybe look into this one, because I do know that Maybelline is quite accessible to a lot of people, and I do think the pricing of this one is pretty okay. Then another product from Maybelline. So I tried the new, which is this one? This is the Lash Sensational Body Mascara. So this is one of the new mascaras they came out in the beginning of the year. And it has the sort of like hourglass kind of plastic brittle ones. So this is the mascara that I'm currently wearing. I think if you're looking for a bit of a drier formula, which this one has, and a formula that gives you volume, I think you're gonna enjoy this one. But I also need like I need a mascara that does basically everything with my particular lash type. So I also need the mascara to get me length and separation, especially getting this to separate now that it has dried down even more than what it already was when I got this one. It's starting to be very difficult getting this to especially separate my lashes. It does feel that you are kind of able to get, now that the formula has gotten even more drier, is that it kind of like you get some of the, like, it does like put the product on your lashes, but then when you start trying to like build it up, it kind of like doesn't do that anymore. So with this one, I would say that if you were looking for a volumizing formula and you actually like something bit of a drier in terms of mascara formula, then you're probably gonna like this one. But for me, especially now that I have gotten this on a more like longer time now, I'm just not like, I wasn't that impressed with this one when I got it, and I'm not actually liking it that much now that it's like there's now like air in this one, and as I said, the formula has gotten drier. So not a favorite from Maybelline mascaras, but luckily I think in terms of Maybelline there's quite a lot that you can choose from their mascaras. Then some Louise products that I got in the Christmas mystery box in the beginning of the year. So this is the Fruity Fix setting spray. So this is one of the like many setting sprays they have in their line. It was a bit unclear for me when I tried to read the bottle of this one that what kind of finish this one has. I think this is supposed to be one of those like more mattifying setting sprays, which in combination with the current foundation that I'm wearing, not maybe the best kind of deal. I do think this does help, like it does help with the longevity, and I do have to say that the mister of this one I can maybe like. The mister is like relatively fine. It's not the finest, but I think it does quite well. Something that you should be aware of, this does have a strawberry scent to it, but luckily the scent does dissipate. But I do think that if you are very sensitive to scented makeup, then you're not gonna like this one. But the strawberry scent, it's not gonna linger, so you're not gonna have a body spray effect with this one. But I think it's an okay mattifying setting spray. The mister is quite alright, but not maybe some setting spray that I would go out my way and rebuy. Then on the last of my products is one of the lip oils. So this is the Stay Shining lip oil that they do in this very like extra packaging, and mine is in the shade Hot Cocoa and Cream. So I got this in the duo that had also the lip balm to it. So why I put this in the meh category, I think what I'm gonna actually do is that this is going to be removed from my makeup drawer, and this is gonna go to my skincare like drawer, and it's actually pretty good because I am running out of the Fenty chocolate smelling lip oil, so I can now just replace it with another chocolate smelling lip oil. So in terms of scent, this actually has a very spot on cocoa scent. I don't think I have ever had a cocoa scenting product that is that spot on to smelling like a cocoa powder if you buy that kind of thing on store. But I was kind of expecting this one because it had at least when you're looking at the tube, it seems to have a deeper shade. I was kind of expecting this have a nice brownish tint that then used with combination of a lip liner, I would have gotten a nice red brownish leaning glowy lip look. But actually this goes quite see-through on your lips, so for me, for this to stay in the makeup drawer, it would have needed this actually give some kind of color on my lips. Because it's more of a lip oil that doesn't really give out that much of a color, I'm just gonna move this to my skincare like box and take it out of my like makeup inventory. There seems to be quite a lot of variation because I do have the one that is smells like peaches, and with that one it has a orange tint that actually does show up as an orange tint, so that is why, for example, that particular shade is in the my makeup drawer. And then I have also another one that has like glitter on it, so that obviously is a makeup product then because it has like shimmer particles. But this one, like it as a Louise lip oil, if you have tried this formula and you like it, you're gonna like this one. But as a makeup product, I don't think this does what I want from a makeup product, so that's why this is getting like just moved into another place in my collection. And then we're gonna go to the good category. So these are products that I would generally say that if you buy these and you, for example, have similar makeup preferences than I do, you're probably gonna like them. So first one is from MUA. So this is the Pro Base. I think this is a corrector shade in the shade Light. This is actually why I would say that they could advertise this as a sort of like serum type of product, because this truly has a very fine sort of texture to it, or fine serum like the. Anyway, more serum liquidy type of like consistency compared to the Maybelline concealer. So I do think if you are looking for a light peachy corrector, this is gonna be, you're gonna like this one a lot. It is a more of a lighter lighter, because it's a more thinner formula. I do think this mixes in relatively well with your other base makeup, because with with a lot of corrector products, I think the issue has been that if it's for one of those very thick creamy corrector products, then it can kind of cause your makeup the makeup on top can make it like pile up or do other like funny things. It is still, I wouldn't say that why this goes to a good and not the like fave categories, that I do still think the Essence corrector that I've been raving on my channel for quite a lot, I do still think that the Essence one kind of blends in a bit better than this one. So this kind of, even though it's a very light texture, like light and liquidy consistency, it still kind of maybe had a bit of the effect that it kind of makes like it look that it kind of sits on top of your skin. Because with the Essence corrector, I think that one had the advantage that it mixes so well in with the rest of their products and it looks so seamless. With this one, it kind of doesn't, I think, have the seamless effect to it when you apply it, so that's why it is not going to the absolute favorite category. But I do still think if you're looking for a corrector, this is quite a good option from a drugstore, and at least I would recommend it. Then from the Louise Christmas sort of mystery box, I got one of their liquid blushes. This generally is one of my favorite liquid blush formulas. With this Louise liquid blush, it is still, though, something that you have to consider is that there's speed variation. Some of these are more pigmented than others. So the shade that I got in the sort of mystery box was, what was this actually called? Cute in Coral. This is maybe something a bit funky about this one. This could be related to the fact that on my skin, because I have a rosy cool undertone, some shades end up looking in a certain way. With your particular skin color, this could end up looking differently. This actually looks almost like it has a very strong like neon base to it. So for me, it almost goes to the line that is it more of a like very bright neon pink rather than being a neon coral. So that is just like something that maybe isn't, because I was expecting, based on how this looks on the tube and how you're probably gonna see it on the swatch image that I'm gonna insert to the side, is that I expected this to be one of those like white based orange blushes, meaning that it would have shown quite strongly as orange on my cheek, but it actually, because it has more of a neon pigment to it, it kind of ends up almost, at least with my particular skin undertone, we almost kind of get the neon pink effect rather than a neon orange effect, which can be good or bad. I actually think that because it has the sort of neon pigment, this actually suits me. I was kind of thinking that if it would have been this like white based orange shades, then it's usually an orange tone that doesn't suit my particular complexion, but because it has a bit of the like neon pigment in it, it actually does suit me quite well, and so for summer I think this is gonna be quite of a fun shade. Then we have a couple of products from Fenty. So first one is a lip gloss that has been in my collection hanging out pretty long. So this is the Gloss Bomb, and which is this is in the shade Pink Dragon. So unfortunately, I don't know can you get this one, because this was from Christmas sets from quite a few years ago. You can start now counting. You can actually Google this and now start counting how long this has been staying on my drawer. But this has been unopened. I've been pretty good. Like, I haven't used this one until now, so I think even though it has been in my collection, but because it's been unopened, I mean, I did smell this beforehand and looked at the formula to see that did it look funny, but this looked good to go, so I had enough trust to actually start using this one. So this is the kind of a gloss bomb shade that it has one of the, it has sort of like, I don't know how this shows in the camera, but there's basically like golden shimmer in it, and otherwise it's this like orangey leaning shade. Why this goes to the good and not the fave category with this Fenty Gloss Bomb. Generally, this is one of my favorite gloss formulas aside from Kiko's 3D Hydro Gloss It, but then there is some variation depending on the shade that does it go to the favorites or to the good category. This goes to the good category purely because I thought I wanted more shimmers. It kind of looks, I mean, there's like shimmer in it, but something about this formula, and this is something that varies, but once I got this on the lips, it wasn't that sparkly. It's more of a very nice gloss that has a bit of sparkle when you get it. So it's probably the formulation. There is some variation depending on what kind of shades you get in the Fenty's line and how they formulate these, but this one, it is still, if you like this sort of golden orangey shade and you're somehow able to get this particular shade, I would recommend it, but I kind of maybe wanted a bit more sparkle from this one because on the tube it kind of looked like it would be pretty sparkly, and it is still like there is still shine to it, but it wasn't maybe as sparkly as I would have liked. Then second thing from the sort of Fenty products that I have been trying, so this is the Killawatt highlighter in the Wattabrat. So this was from their Valentine's Day edition. Update about this one, I did discuss this in my sort of makeup haul video that I ended up buying them. I did end up getting the Valentine's Day collection. I actually did get a new lip gloss in the also from the collection, but they ended up sending me the wrong shade. How that ended up was so that I did get a refund from the lip gloss, and I did end up they allowed me to keep the hot pink shade. That was the shade that I didn't want because I wanted the baby pink shade, but it had sold out basically by the time that I got my order and made the complaint to the customer service. But the highlighter shade was the correct one that they did send me. So this is a beautiful pink highlighter shade. I do have to say that it's why this goes to the good and not faves. It's bit on the edge. Is it too sparkle heavy? I think the Killawatt highlighter generally is the more like sparkly formula that they have. They had the Bake highlighters I think over a year ago, and those were much more smoother. That actually was one of my like favorite highlighters during that year that I tried. But I don't think you're able to get the Bake highlighters currently. I don't know if they discontinue those, because I do remember a lot of people were complaining that while the Bake highlighter formula was very beautiful, I think it broke very easily. I think a lot of people ended up, if they especially ordered the products online, I think a lot of people had the issues that their highlighters came broken, and generally was a formula that didn't, if you like dropped the highlighter once or did anything to it, I think the issue was that the highlighter formula broke down. But I think these Killawatt highlighters, these one have been in their collection a bit longer, and I do think the formula isn't so fragile. But this is a formula that if you don't like sparkly highlighters, then don't buy this one. For me, it is still on the side of sparkly that I can kind of get away with it as someone in my 30s. Unfortunately, texture is a real thing, and especially with cheek highlighters, I have to be a bit more careful what kind of formulas I use. But it is still, as a fan of like generally pink leaning highlighters, it is still very fun. You can use this as an eyeshadow topper also. It kind of works, like looks quite nice that way. But very beautiful highlighter as a whole, but just that you have to be aware that if you don't want anything like sparkly in terms of your highlighters, then you're not gonna like this one. But on a 30 plus more texture prone skin, I do say that with a good skin prep, I am still able to make this work, and it does look quite like beautiful, especially if you use it with a pink blush. Then the one product that made it to the fave. So I was finally able to try out some SiNGE Beauty blushes. So this is Angelica Nyqvist's makeup brand. And I got this one on Molly Shop when they got the new shades in with this one. So, and she did already extend the shade range of this one. And this in the, was this the, what shade are we talking about? It has to read somewhere. Oh yeah, there. So this is the Likeable Litchi shade, and this looks pretty deep in the pan, but actually I was, first, the swatch of this one isn't looking impressive, and I do have to say this isn't a formula that swatches out very well. It feels almost like a very hard pan when you swatch it. But then when you actually get this on your makeup brush and start working it in your skin, this does have a bit of like more satiny finish to it, but it does actually benefit this formula very well. This looks very smooth and very nice on your skin. It's not like shimmery to the point where it would emphasize textures. It's just in the perfect point of being a satin blush where it looks, I think, where it's gonna probably look flattering on quite many different skin types. And I do think as a formula, it's a nice balanced formula where if you want a bit more like subtle finish, you can layer this very thinly, but if you want more power from your blushes, then you can build this up to be more pigmented. So I think in terms of formulation, I think this is one of the like more thought out formulations in terms of blushes, because with a lot of blushes it seems we either get those very super pigmented heavy matte blushes, or then we get something very like subtle and buildable from like maybe more traditional, especially luxury brands, but then those blush shades don't necessarily cater especially to more towards like deeper and medium skin tones. But I think this truly is a formula that I think a lot of people would enjoy in terms of the finish, and I hope Angie is gonna come out with more shades, because I do think generally like there's now quite a good shades, because now with this one, I think there were like more cool tone shades because the original shades were pretty warm linen, but I do hope we're gonna see even more. And maybe we could see like highlighter and I think especially a bronzer contouring formula in this similar like format would be nice. Like I would be very like keen to try a SiNGE Beauty now powder formula also with contours and highlighters if it's something similar to this one, because I do think a lot of people, it would be flattering to a lot of people. This shade, as I said, it doesn't swatch out well. It looks pretty. I was pretty afraid when I got this initially and on the like when I got the order, and I looked at it, I was thinking that looks pretty deep in the pan, and then I swatched it down, I was thinking that okay, it didn't swatch out that great, but then actually when you get this on your brush and start applying it, then it's like the perfect balance of being just like on the right side of being buildable but still very flattering. So if you've been eyeing these like SiNGE Beauty powder blushes, I mean at least I would get one and try out, because I enjoyed mine very much. Those were the products that I had to discuss for this month. Comment down below maybe some of your favorite products from this past month. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find with the same nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I'll see you in the video. Bye bye!